new masterclass video number 2. One of the other things that you guys can do, which we showed you before, is also drag in pictures to make a picture more dynamic. And in the end of this masterclass, we'll go over how you guys and gals can use your own pictures for a lot of that kind of stuff. We get a lot of questions on that. So what we're going to do here is we'll just go over to Google real quick. All right, I went to Google and I typed in the word money, and I also typed in labeled for reuse, okay, because we want to make sure that we're not using any copyrighted images there. So let's say I wanted to find let's say I wanted a picture of just $100 bills, for example. I would come down here and hit copy image address, okay. Come over here and I would click on edit components, scroll down to the thing that looks like a camera, edit content, paste. You want to make sure it ends with a .jpeg.
According to wikipedia.org, paste is a monthly music and entertainment
All right, so that was fun. That was my computer. I don't know how that happened. So you can end with JPEG or PNG. Hit save. Now that picture is way too big. It looks stupid, okay? It's way too big for this page. But here's the cool part. When you click edit content, you see where it says full size 50% or 25? I'm going to click 25%. And I could add that to the page, and that looks okay. And again, if I have an image that's offset to the left or offset to the right, it allows me to post pictures. So for example, this guy's in the middle, you know, and I post a picture right over him. It may make the page look really goofy. I've seen some of you do that. I wouldn't do that. But now this is a more dynamic page because he's offset to the left and I have this picture right here to the right or in the middle of the page, and it's going to look pretty good like that. So that's a way that you could add, you know, pictures. What you can also do is add transparent pictures if you can find them. Let me show you that. All right, so I just typed in man. A PNG means transparent. So if you search for a PNG, by the way, and a lot of times you'll see where it says transparent background, and we can see if it works, because sometimes it'll have all the checkerboards too, which we don't want, but we'll see if this one works. Not that this would be a great picture for this page, but it does work. I just wanted to show you, if you can find a picture with a transparent background, what that means is there's no box behind it. You know, like the dollars had a bunch of, you know, like a big black box, and then it really stands off the page. Maybe this works for being dead broke to executive. It actually might work on this page. It's not bad. But if you could find a image, and again, I think that's 50%. Let's see what full size will look like. That's probably too big as well. But you see it's nice and clean. You see how that came in the back there? And that's another thing you could do if you do searches for more or less transparent background images. So you'll probably have to search for a PNG. And let's see if I can find another one, because not all of them are great. And what you really have to do is make sure it has like a checkerboard background right here. So let's see this, copy image address. And let's see if this works. We'll go and edit components, grab the camera, drag and drop where you want. I'm just holding my mouse down. Very easy to do. Paste. Let's say I want 50%. And let's see how this looks. There you go. Now, it gave me a nice clean image, but it's still very big. So I would come in again, paste it, hit maybe 25%. And see. And at the end of the day, if 25% is still too big, which that's probably not too bad, I would go find another image. So, that's pretty neat. Now, one of the things you could do too is have, you know, go on Fiverr or something. If you want a picture of yourself, send them a picture and have somebody cut out the background. So you can actually be popping yourself in pages if you want, with no background. So you look nice and clean like this. Okay, that's another tip. Is go use Fiverr and find a graphics guy that will cut you out of pictures and ask for a transparent background. And then we'll show you how to upload that stuff later today. Okay, now a lot of you, let's go into some of the next level stuff that we want to go into on building awesome pages Sometimes I do want to talk about one sort of background real quick. Sometimes if you have really good ad copy and the message is good, using textures really stand out too. And some of you don't use the textures as much as you could, but there are some pretty cool textures back here. I think there's over 200 textures that we give you that could really pop off the page for you. And it just looks amazing if you do it right. For example, I got a good idea here. Let's see here. Let's say I wanted, let's say I wanted just the page itself to pop off and not necessarily a background. Okay, so I might use something plain-ish like this here. Okay, now we have this. But now let's say I wanted to use that picture again and make that more the focal point than a background. I hit this, I paste this. This is the same guy in the suit. And watch what happens here. And now look at this page. So now this is a very clean looking page because the background it has a texture to it, so it still looks a little bit more high end than just a plain color. We will show you plain color here though. And because we use the transparent image, now the focal point is right here, right? Which is very cool. Okay, this page looks actually really, really good if that's something you want to do. Let me show you how you can use the difference between a texture, like that black texture, and just a color. I think the texture makes your pages look a little bit more high-end, and then just a plain color background, which we have those in here somewhere. I just need to find them. Solid colors. Okay. So let's say I want to just find a solid color here. Let's say I want a black. Okay. There's just solid black, for example. I don't think that looks as good. It looks okay, but I don't think it looks as good as the texture. That texture just made it look a little bit more high-end, right? So, I mean, and then again, you could actually have a pretty busy texture too if you want. I don't think it would matter that much. I mean, the cities would look cool. Cities to me are also texture. Roads like this are also texture. Like if you look, the problem is that some of you guys, you don't really dive in and look at all the stuff that you have available to you. You just say, well, I'm in a Bitcoin deal, so the only thing you look at is Bitcoin backgrounds. And where you're really missing the boat, where you can make some really cool pages that pop, that aren't necessarily a Bitcoin background or a weight loss background or a money background, you know. I mean, literally, the possibilities here are endless, and it's pretty awesome. So let's say I want even something crazy like this one. That looks pretty cool. Okay. Obviously, it's a little bit more textured, but then I can also play with this. Again, the opacity. You know, if I want this a little bit more. And actually, if I want more like this orangey color, check this out. See how you can actually change the color of the opacity box to go more, more with the background. Look at that, I made it like a brown. Look how cool that looks. And again, a lot of you are missing it because you don't really play with the opacity tool and realize it's just like the text. You have millions of colors, millions that you can do. And then so what I do is I take a background and say, okay, how can I make this look even better? And then I'll get in here and I'll mess around and be like, oh, this brown looks cool. Look at the different shades, and then look at the different opacity that you can play with. So if you want to find a dark brown like that, then back off the opacity, and then look, it looks really cool, right? So that's another cool feature of the Conversion Pros that some of you miss, and then you're not really doing. So this video is a little bit long. I'm trying to think if I could squeeze anything more into this video without being making it too long. Well, it's only 9 minutes. Okay, let's talk about forms real quick here, because some of you ask a lot. When you edit a form, you see name and email, full name and address. Some of you ask for email only. I'm going to tell you why that's a horrible idea and the reason we haven't done it. The reason we don't ask for just email is because it's been proven that I think it's an over 80% conversion happens when you use somebody's name. So by getting someone's name, let's say Dave, okay, let's say I just did this, and I don't even like this. I like name, email, and phone number. But let's say you just want name and email. They'll type in their full name, okay? But why do I want a name? It's because when I go into my autoresponder, we have a way in our autoresponder. We're going to go over this in our autoresponder training, but a way that I could say, David, make an executive income from home. Well, when he's scrolling through all of his emails and sees his name, it has a much better chance of being opened. Also, you can have tags throughout the emails. So you can say, David, this is, David, people are making money like crazy. David, aren't you sick of not making enough money online? You can actually add the person's name all the way through the email, making it more dynamic. That's why we do that. But the reason I recommend name, email, and phone is because we give you a phone app. And the minute anyone fills out this form, you're going to get a notification right on your app. And on your app, you can actually text, email, or call. Why would you only want to email them and only be able to contact them one way instead of three ways? Worst case scenario, someone's going to give a fake number. If the ad copy is good on the page, no one says, oh my gosh, there's a phone number, I'm not filling it out. It does not happen. That is an internet myth. Okay? People that think just getting an email over an email and phone number converts better are absolutely wrong. There is no data that proves that. If the ad copy is good, people will fill out the entire form, okay? And I want three ways to contact someone instead of one. Why? I mean, how many emails do you get a day that you never open? So if you're only getting emails, it's very hard to convert just emails because you have one way to contact somebody instead of three. I prefer to have three ways to contact somebody. So that's that. The next video I'm going to do, we're going to talk a little bit more about the different templates and other things you can do. And we're going to just keep going on this masterclass. And then I'm going to show you some examples of some pages that people have done that we're going to fix. My buddy asked me to fix a couple of his pages, and they're great examples to show you, some of the mistakes that were made and how to make it better. All right? So keep watching the next videos.